I'm going through your research and all that stuff. You've been around a lot of death. And of course, the family is one thing. The organization you worked for has had so many. Hack Myers, Axel, Balls, Cronus, Pitbull Anthony, Bam Bam, Grunge, Big Dick Dudley, Candido, on and on. So many people that died far, far too young. How much of the business is responsible for that? How much are lifestyle choices?
I think it's 50-50. I mean, you know, I thank God that I didn't fall into that whole drug scene. You know what I mean? Like, I was there and I've seen things, but I never experienced it the way some people experienced it. It's an addiction. People had problems. Some people couldn't move unless they were on pain pills. You know what I mean? Like, it comes with the territory.
It does.
And I'm not speaking for anybody but myself. I mean, I know how bad I feel now at 46 years old. I'm full of arthritis. The guys did like 100% more than I ever did. So I'm not judging them for taking pain pills or drinking or whatever they do. I just feel like we didn't have strict rules and we didn't have like a wellness policy.
Right.
It's kind of like,
because you see other athletes. I mean, the NFL, these guys take a beating in the NFL too, and rugby, you know, no pads, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There is not the mortality rate in those other sports that you had in wrestling. And they would say, well, entertainers use drugs too, musicians use drugs. I would still put the numbers per capita in pro wrestling up against entertainment, music. It's disproportionately high. It really is.
It's a hard lifestyle to live too, because number one, you kind of think you're above the law. You think you're a rock star. You're out there 4 or 5 nights a week. You get to be with your friends. You're kind of living a different life, and then you go home to reality. So some people just like to party a little more when they're on the road, and unfortunately, some people took it way too far.
But I don't think it can be understated, and I've talked to Shane Douglas about this too, who's open about his pain pill addiction too. The introduction of pain medication is really what threw this completely out of whack. Harley Race, all these guys were crazy out on the road, but they weren't dying at 45, 40. They lived hard, they drank and drove. You did not have people dying like we did right at that turn, right when pain pills hit the locker rooms in the 90s to now. There's a huge responsibility, I think, that has to be hung on people who write scripts.
Oh, for sure. I mean, doctors were giving them out like candy at one point. A lot of the guys just had bottles full.
Right.
You know, here's this and that.
At the time when you were in the locker room with these people, were there any people that you went, oh, that's not going to end well right there? Like he's like, could you predict any of this for some of these guys?
Death? No. I mean, look, I don't know what was said in interviews past. I've seen a lot of stuff. I used to just say, you know, I don't think that's a good idea, but nobody would listen to me anyway. So you do what you want to do. But I mean, I've seen. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen one guy. There, Newbane was kind of.
Saturn used to shoot it under his tongue.
Oh my gosh! Well, I saw there was a little bit of Newbane left, and 2 people wanted it. And I sat across from them, and I saw one guy shoot it in and then withdraw the blood, and the other guy took that blood and shot it in his vein because they got the buzz off of. And that's the weirdest thing I've ever and I was just like, because I don't remember where we were, but I remember there were lockers, and you know how like in the locker room there's like benches. So they were on a bench here, and then I was sitting across from them, and I think I was putting my shoes on or boots or something, and I was just like, my mind was blown. I was like, and then they said we didn't have enough for both of us, and I was just like, whoa. And that was the weirdest, craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Perry Saturn. No.
It was not Perry Saturn.
Let me tell you the weirdest thing Perry Saturn told us he did. He
Okay.
said, it might have been at the Travel Lodge.
Oh, things happen there all the time.
He said they put a slip and slide down the entire length of the hallway. They put a rat down at the far end. Scotty held her legs open.
Oh.
Perry strapped a dildo on his head and slid face first on the slip and slide down the hallway. How about that?
How about that?
For depravity.
I didn't see that one, but we did have a girl. we had a girl come in for a tryout. And she went into the guys' locker room and took a cigarette and put it in her vagina and smoked the cigarette with her vagina. And then
Was this part of the tryout? Did Paulie ask
it
for
was
that?
not part of the tryout. But then she came like kind of crying and she said, I didn't mean to disrespect you. And I said, you disrespected yourself. You didn't disrespect me. Yeah. Like I took offense. I didn't see it. Like I remember balls running out saying, she's smoking it with her pussy, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, gross. And
What gimmick would you have given her? What would her name have been? We could we could have a lot of fun trying to come up with that name right now.
We could have did like a Pussy Willow or
Pussy Willow's good.
something. Oh, well, that's already
Smokey
taken.
the Snatch? Could that work? No?
I don't know.
Let's get back to serious stuff like
Sorry,
the
that just
premature
popped in my
deaths of
head.
professional wrestlers,
Sorry.
for Christ's sake. Now, you said it yourself, and I started the show with it, you never got caught up with this. You spent as much time in ECW locker rooms as every one of those names I've said for the full run, and you never get caught up. Why?
You know, I mean, the most I ever did, I would maybe take one Percocet with like a beer. And just to get like a little tiny buzz, and I did that.
Relax there, Scott Hall.
That's a crazy, yeah, that's crazy. Although one night, I don't know if this is public or not.
It is now.
Well, one night we were at a club. I drank Long Island iced teas. I liked a couple Long Island iced teas. And I wasn't like an alcoholic, but I would have a couple beverages if we were done drinking. And I remember Tammy saying, oh, take these. And she put like 5 somas in my hand. And I never took somas in my life. And I took them because I was kind of inebriated. But I remember the whole night. I should have died thinking about it. Like I should be dead right now. That's the most pills I've ever taken in my life was because of her, because I had those Long Island iced teas. I was kind of loopy. And then I remember being in the club, and then we went outside and we got in our convertible, and a redhead was there. And I don't know how she got there. And to this day, she's probably a ghost. But
A worker? No.
she was an indie worker, but she didn't come to the club with us, and she didn't leave with us. She appeared in the car.
She's your special
And so
friend
me and
that you see when you take
Tammy
5 somas.
Tammy and Chris know her.
Oh, okay.
But to this day, me and Tammy just laugh about it. But I'm just like, why would you give me like 5 somas? And she's just like, I thought you can handle it. And I'm like, you can handle it. I can't handle this stuff. Like, that's the most. And I'm only telling that story because that's the most I've ever taken in my life.
But it's
never again.
fascinating that in that environment that you were able
That I
to
never-
kind of stay. Just, not that you'd become a raging addict, but just that
No.
like, in the party atmosphere to kind of want to be one of the,
Look,
whatever was going on.
I didn't try pot until I was 36 years old. And the only reason I tried pot is because I was at like a girls show and all the girls were smoking and they were like, oh, try. And I tried it. It wasn't for me. So it wasn't in the pot. Never smoked cigarettes. What else? And I told you once in a blue moon, I would take like one, if my back hurt, I'd take a Percocet, but we were at a club, so I'd drink a beer. And I don't like beer anymore, that's out. Cocaine, I never tried cocaine because I was afraid to put anything up my nose. I didn't want to I thought it was gross, so I never tried cocaine. I don't like needles, so I'm not into like heroin or any of the needle things. I don't even know what else is out there. I don't know what crack is. I don't know how to take, what is crack? I don't even know how to take it.
Call New Jack.
Do you, yeah, so I never did, and I never really did anything.
So you survived the maze of ECW.